Turn the lights back on. Wow. Retro electro tech. When real audio ruled the world.
Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Retro Ernest of Retro Electro Tech, and what I have here today on the bench is a Yamaha A520 stereo amplifier from the deliciously decadent 1980s that came to me with a no power up complaint. So I've started a fast and furious, down and dirty preliminary evaluation that corresponds to the budget that I have to work within on this unit. So the customer has had this stored away for a few decades and now wants to see what it's going to take to restore function, if it's within his budget, of course. And if not, if it proves to be a deeper rooted issue, then at the very least I can deliver a nice eulogy, maybe a proper burial, and bring the customer some closure one way or the other. So let's get to it and see what it's going to take. Okay, in keeping things short and sweet, and in the interest of time, let's get to the meat of the matter. As mentioned, this came to me with a no power up complaint. So, from the line cord on through, I've checked the obvious, and all the way to the secondary of the power transformer here, and evaluated the situation, determined that there is power at the secondary, although I feel the voltage is a wee bit excessive, so I'm looking into that a little further. Otherwise, I did discover the burnt relay coil here on this protective relay. I have another relay on the way. It's only a $5 relay, and the reason I bring that up is because my budget is very limited on this unit here. Monetarily, this amp is not worth a whole lot, and the customer is not particularly attached to this sentimentally, so he's only willing to go so far on this, which I completely understand. I also pulled the full wave bridge rectifier. I checked that out of circuit. That's looking good. And the reason why I have these 12,000 mic filter caps pulled from the board is going to become obvious in just a moment. Okay, so what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the dreaded glue. And no, it's not contagious, so you can remove your masks. However, the problem with this polychloroprene contact adhesive that, by the way, has been around since the 1930s is that it's corrosive. And more so in certain applications, such as when this glue does come into contact with circuit board traces, the leads of components, and had it made its way underneath these filter caps here, these jumpers would have been probably corroded away to oblivion, no doubt. And the good thing is, though, is the application of this glue appears to be limited to this region here. And of course, I've checked around the remaining surfaces of the board, and everything looks pretty good as far as this adhesive is concerned. Otherwise, it doesn't seem like there's any more applied. So I'm going to look around probably a little more if I get the green light to move forward on this. But one thing that I do want to zoom in on real quick here, and pardon the fuzziness like I always have to say when I zoom in, because that's kind of the way this camera is. This diode here, as you can see, it's detached from this lead here, and this lead was in the path of the dreaded glue. And I did kind of clean it up a little bit in anticipation of replacing this diode if the customer gives me the green light to move forward in trying to restore functionality to this amp within the limited budget that I have to work in. Limited budget equates to limited time that I can dive in and perform diagnostics and whatnot. And also too, I have to get the function of this amp restored at least enough to proceed forward with more diagnostics, again, if given the green light. So my hands are tied in a couple different ways, obviously, so I'm doing the best I can with what I have to work with in regard to budget and time, once again. So just a quick recap, and not electrolytically speaking, I've gone through and in-circuit tested the electrolytics, within the power supply and throughout, actually, most of the board surface here. And again, everything looked all right considering in-circuit testing, and had I received an anomalous reading, I would have extracted the cap from circuit and checked it in more detail, but again, everything looked okay. And obviously I can't spend too much time and diagnostic effort, you know, as I've already mentioned. So other than that, one more thing that I'm going to do real quick before this video concludes is I'm going to flip this thing around, and I'm going to fast and furiously check, you know, desolder the leads of these output transistors, and just do some quick testing and just make sure nothing's shorted out, that the gain's looking okay, and you know, the leakage of these transistors, everything is looking all right. So that being said, let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, so I just got through desoldering the leads of these four TO3 PN package output transistors, two of which are 2SC2581s, and they're complementary PMP 2SA1106 transistors. Now, let me go ahead and shut this off. And yeah, everything tested okay in terms of gain, as well as a collector to emitter and collector to base leakage. So I have more transistors on the flip side of this board that need to be gone through and tested, but I'm going to do that off camera in the interest of time, obviously, and we will go from there.
Crossover phase tracking test to 15 kilohertz. In phase. Crossover phase tracking test to 15 kilohertz. Out of phase.
This is a poor man's shoe production.